If you love gear and have plenty of it, overnight adventures by car offer lots of freedom. And with an off-road capable camper trailer, there's almost no limit to where you can go. The versatility of an off-road camper trailer allows you to set up camp, disconnect, and still have a vehicle for the day-to-day adventures, allowing you to return to base camp with cold drinks and a cozy cabin waiting. Durable suspension, a strong chassis, and all-terrain tires are just a few of the areas in which these ultra-tough trailers excel. When it comes to off-road trailers and tough luxury, there's something for everyone. However, it is necessary to know what you're looking for. Do you need a comfortable trailer that can brave all the elements? Or do you lean more toward a cheaper, stripped-down trailer that allows you to customize your own experience? For those who traverse rugged terrain by day and sleep under the stars at night, we present the best off-road camper trailers. We've compiled this list of incredible off-road trailers so you can find your perfect fit for outdoor adventure.
It's easy to feel slightly underdressed in front of this Zone Expedition series. It's immediately classy, but as well as the good looks, there's brute strength where it counts. You could load this into a space shuttle and go cruising on the moon. This marine and aviation rated, Raptor coated, fiberglass composite body sits on a laser cut chassis. The amount of space is clearly obvious, with class leading Cruisemaster suspension. It's a serious silverback of a camper. Inside is a real taste of off-grid luxury, with this full-size queen and another queen in the pop top above me. There's a massive 330 watts of solar, a 200 amp hour lithium battery, and a mind-boggling 2000 watt EnerDrive inverter. You could power an outback music festival with this thing. But for now, I'm going to kick back in here. Let's check in and see what the judges have to say. The Zone Expedition series was a big, good-looking unit, Ron.
Yeah, my word. There's been this new generation of people with passion for their products, and it's showing up in these campers that they're designing here in Australia, building them in Australia. I just loved it, and I love the enthusiasm of the guy. Simple, really easy to use, you know, so it'll appeal to a lot of people.
You know what, these guys were approached only 3 weeks ago, and this has been a prototype unit that was in the making. They're here with bells on with a magnificent presentation. Yes, there's going to be a few mods and changes, and I think I'm really excited to see what the progression of this camper is going to be over the next few years.
And what about its off-grid capability, Bear?
Very, very good. Obviously the EnerDrive system in this one, which was nice to see, and a 2000 watt inverter in there as well. These guys are leading the field in energy and energy storage and generation. 200
litres of water. Water purification system in there, onboard pump that can drag water out of a nearby creek or stuff like that. So it's really well set up for staying off the grid for a while.
Then that Cruisemaster suspension underneath.
Wow. Beautiful.
Unbelievable. That thing could just walk over the top of anything, and when you get there, it's just hit the button and level it all up.
The only thing I found with this one when we were using the outdoor kitchen is that it was a little bit high for me. I'm quite short, so you know, a lot of people wouldn't have any issues, and maybe this is something that they will look to iron out. Aside from that, it was really comfortable. It's not a pop top inside, so you actually can't stand up, but once you're inside and you're sitting down or lying down on that bed, you really wouldn't notice it. It's a queen bed up there as well, so you've got stacks of space. It makes it really versatile for a couple or some friends or even a family.
Some great materials. I just love their use of materials and engineering in that thing.
And it shows in the weight, doesn't it?
It shows in weight, 1,400 kilos, Ron. And their engineers reckon that they've overstressed their chassis that much that they'll be able to probably take another 80 kilos out of that. These are guys with some real engineering now, so on the move. Watch out, Australian camper trailer industry. Zone are here.
The Patriot X3 is, full stop, an exquisitely refined camper. The attention to detail in this camper is next level. The X3 is the first time Patriot have designed a camper with an interior living space. Unsurprisingly, it's been beautifully done, with loads of features, heaps of space. You've got a delightfully cool and breezy queen-size side-folding bed, Another bed here underneath me. Absolutely loads of clever and innovative features. Never forget though, Patriot's core asset, unsurpassable might and power off-road, featuring the full repertoire of quality Cruisemaster suspension and superbly engineered chassis and drawbar underneath. Let's hear more about that from the judges. Everyone was looking forward to checking out the new Patriot X3. The attention to detail was astronomical. Tim, did you think the same?
Fit and finish, always top quality for Patriot, but the thing that really jumps out straight away is it's a massive change for Patriot. This is the first camper from Patriot with proper internal lounge area. So it's clearly targeting a slightly different market, somebody who wants either wet weather coverage or a family who's looking for somewhere where they can just get inside and escape the heat. It's a fantastic change.
This is Patriot's version of a hybrid. It's just a completely different take on the whole thing, which makes you go away and want to rethink, well, what is a hybrid? Beautifully done, elegantly engineered, but it's just a completely different camper.
I think one of the things for me was when I stepped into it, I would be almost afraid to start camping in it because it's so slick.
Yet they're designed to take out and really knock them around. Justin takes these things anywhere and everyone beats the death out of them to make sure they're going to work.
The core asset of any Patriot, and they've been renowned for this for many years, is its off-road ability. Scott, were you impressed with its ability out in the bush tracks?
The thing's almost bulletproof. When you look at it and Justin's background in sheet metal fabrication and using his key skills in the design of that, you could bounce that thing down any track and you'd be fine. And it's such a compact passage, got a nice low centre of gravity, and its four-wheel drive capability is only going to be limited by the vehicle that you tow it behind.
Yeah, we're towing it around the four-wheel drive track the other day. I was driving it and we were towing it with Justin's Dodge Ram. He was more concerned about getting the Dodge Ram around the tight corners than the Patriot. Forget about the Patriot. You didn't even know it was there.
What did you think, Scott, about that new fabric they were using on the awning?
Now this is the real X factor about Patriot and the X3. It's a new space age type of canvas. So you're moving away from close weave into this hexacore that is just absolutely astounding, because it's innovative things like that new canvas style that they've got that's going to really make this thing stand out, not just tomorrow when it rolls off the factory floor, but 10 years time after you've owned it and used it.
One of the things that did really stand out though from a self-sufficiency point of view was a 12-litre diesel tank for the Webasto water and air heater. You know, that should last you months. And then you're only running gas through your Weber or through your stove. So twin 4.5 kilo bottles there are going to last again for months. 15-watt inverter, got 2 AGM batteries. It's got plenty of water capacity and it's got the ability to be able to lift water.
What did you make of the comforts of the living space, Scott?
The one thing that really shone for me for comfort was not only the interior detail of the upholstery, but if you're in bed and you wake up in the morning and you want to have a cup of coffee, everybody's got to see what Patriot's done here. At a push of a button, up comes the coffee machine from the bowels of the X3 and you can be sitting in bed making your cup of coffee. You don't have to get out of bed to enjoy sipping on a coffee whilst listening to the world wake up outside.
And just beside it, you can reach down into the fridge.
Internal access to a fridge is a must. Like if it's raining, you can be inside, you can access your fridge, you can access your internal storage underneath. There's a massive drawbar, slide bar there that you can actually access from inside on the seat. So everything is almost accessible from inside whilst you're enjoying that coffee.
I'd like to talk too about that roof rack system they've got on top. So any commercially available roof racking system will bolt to this thing and you can put all sorts of things up on the roof.
In terms of quality of finish, it's always been hard to question what Patriot do. They've always put forward something exceptional. One of the things they've done differently for the X3 is they've moved from a Rhino coating to a Raptor coating, which is more UV stable. It's also very hard wearing like Rhino coat is, which is a positive change. And use of hex bolts throughout. It just gives a clean line and it's a smooth finish to the outside quality of it. Top effort.
Okay, that's a new family-focused off-road camper from Patriot. It certainly seemed to hit the mark. Tanamai by name, spending time in the Tanamai by nature. This 13-foot hybrid from AUSTRACK is fully equipped for serious comfort while way off the beaten track. 3 100 amp hour AGM batteries, 300 watts of solar, 240 litres of available water. Off-road ready, underneath and up front. In a Tanamai, your plans for adventure are only restricted by your imagination. Inside, the Tanamai is a spacious and comfortable oasis. There's masses of cupboard space, this large ensuite, a king-size inner-spring bed, air conditioning. It's utterly delightful. Let's check in with the judges for their thoughts. Okay, so the Austral Tanamay X13 is fully loaded with an amazing array of self-sustaining features. Kath, would you be happy in a Austral Tanamay X13 out in the middle of the outback?
This is a pretty hefty unit with a big comfortable bed inside it. I understand it has the largest ensuite of a camper of its type. It provides a really useful living space, and it provides a level of storage both inside and outside the camper that I could see being quite useful when you're out in the great outdoors.
Yeah, to get back to Kath's point about that internal ensuite, I really like that. It had a lot of room, a couple of internal cupboards where you can put your toiletries. Some of these internal ensuites, you're banging your elbows against the side. This has got plenty of room. It's all a big one-piece moulding. I thought that was one of the really impressive features about this camper.
Roll underneath the body, having a good look. She's well supported by a good chassis. Everything underneath there look quality. If you do happen to go, I will take this off-road a little bit, you're not going to really have any issues there. You've got a lovely set of independent suspension, you've got dual shocks, which a lot of these guys have for that redundancy in case you blow one, but I was just extremely impressed with how tidy it was underneath.
There's a bit of thought under there as well. So it's got a rolled main chassis rail as opposed to a cut and welded. Now, you can get a strong weld, but if you don't have to cut it and weld it, you know it's always going to be as strong as it's originally made. And then, yet they've still gusseted it as well. So it's a 4mm thick chassis at 150 by 50. It's pretty robust.
This is another of those campers with the pull-out bed at the end, where you pull it out, fold up the sides, fold up the back, pull the roof down, latch it all together. But it did have those extra couple of side bolts to secure the back panel to the side panel so that there wasn't a tendency for it to fall in. You couldn't flex those panels because obviously it was a heavier gauge metal. For all that the weight adds penalties, it's all there for a good reason.
The self-sufficiency adds a lot of that weight as well. You've got triple tanks underneath it, two 120s and a 75, and they're all individually filled, and you've got a 19.3 litre Blackwater as well. There's a lot under there.
A 100 amp hour AGM battery is going to weigh 30 odd kilos and 300 watts of solar on the roof. All this adds up.
And then you've even got the mattress itself. I mean, it's a king size inner spring mattress. You wouldn't want to be putting too much more inside. You'd want to have that just as she is and going out for a lovely time of it, but resupply as you go on the road rather than taking the whole kitchen from home with you.
Kath, were you impressed with the Tanamay X13's outdoor living space?
So the 2.5 by 4 metre electric assisted awning is probably fairly standard for this style of camper. But we've been talking about that canvas annex that you can add on as well. And although it looks as though it might be a bit of a handful to erect in the first instance, put that up and you've got 2.8 metres by 6 metres. Now the team were particular about saying how much width you got from that annex once you actually had that deployed from one end of the camper to the other. Once that's erected, you've got the biggest living space I think that we've probably looked at.
And that annex came with big Velcro-in bucket, vinyl floor, side walls with mesh windows. All this was just included in the whole package. It was quite an impressive structure.
And what was it like on the tow ball, Tim?
Towing the X13 is a big prospect. You're going to need a decent tow rig to tow it at full ATM of about 2800. One of the good things we did note though, the shackles recovery points being in line with the chassis members, so if you did get it stuck, you could quite easily recover it without too much fear of damage.
Okay, there we have it, the Austral Tanamay X13. It's a real home away from home. You can take out for weeks at a time, pretty much anywhere.